somebody cries in the interview. This happens more than one would think. And she maintained a very professional level throughout that entire interview. She was accepted outright that minute. It's okay to tear up.
Yeah.
I have a habit of, I always have a box of I'm always ready for anybody tearing up because it's so stressful, and it's okay. We are aware that there's so much on the line when somebody comes in for an interview. The number of hours that they've already put in to getting to that spot is massive.
Yes.
You think of all the patient care, writing all of the essays, doing the whole CASPA application. It literally, that moment in their lives could be a path going this way or that way on the interview. That's a tremendous amount of pressure. You know, I've heard from applicants sometimes that some programs want to stress the applicant out to see what they're like under pressure.
They're already under pressure.
This doesn't make any sense to me. How you're going to be in a code is not reflective of how you are on the day of your interview. So really our goal is just to get to know the applicant. And I hope that most PA programs are looking for this same sort of thing. And we can only do that if you are authentic and relaxed and sharing, you know, really who you are. Another thing that sometimes comes up is if somebody cries in the interview. This happens more than one would think sometimes, and I'll tell you why. It depends on what we're talking about. So we always talk about something in the application that besides just our standard questions. So there might be something that they wrote about, you know, something, their parents' divorce, you know, the death of a loved one, an experience that was really hard for them. And so sometimes students tear up or when they talk about challenges they've overcome. It's okay to tear up.
Yeah.
I have a habit of, I always have a box of I'm always ready for anybody tearing up because it's so stressful, and it's okay. That to me shows a level of bravery and feeling, and don't let that undermine your whole interview is my point. It's okay. It happens. And if you need a moment, you can take a moment. It's okay.
That definitely, so that's not a piece of advice I would have ever given. So that's definitely interesting that you brought that up. And it's kind of consistent and congruent with the fact that you said like a patient interview, patient interaction is tremendously intimate just from the get-go. And so is your relationship with your mentors at the school, the program director, your professors, because it is so hard and it takes so much of you that you kind of have to be comfortable sharing, you know, yourself as well. And it doesn't seem like it would be a stretch to say that can start at the interview. You know, because you're writing about such personal things, these people know so much about you. You know, you can kind of treat them like somebody that you know and trust already, even if it's somebody that you're meeting for the first time.
Yeah. We are aware that there's so much on the line when somebody comes in for an interview. The number of hours that they've already put in to getting to that spot is massive.
Yes.
You think of all the patient care, writing all of the essays, doing the whole CASPA application. It literally, that moment in their lives could be a path going this way or that way on the interview. That's a tremendous amount of pressure. So we're completely aware of that. And it's, you know, it's okay. You want to maintain some level of professionalism. So I'll just say, if you're crying through the whole interview, then maybe you're not ready. You know, depending on what that is, you know, that is the rare case that happens. But because one needs to be able to manage their emotions, but we don't want robots either. So it's okay when you're talking about challenging things to show some level of emotion. It's okay.
It's a good distinction. Somebody who's just generally overwhelmed and is beside themselves with the whole process, maybe you're not ready. But if your parents divorced or someone died or something that the interviewer happens to bring up or that you happen to bring up, you're human. Yeah. It's okay to be human.
We had an applicant, it's been years now, her brother died in a motorcycle accident like a week before she interviewed.
Wow.
I mean, devastating loss.
Yeah.
And so she made us aware. and said, I'm going to still come for my interview. My parents are going to join me, not into the interview room, but just to the campus. I just want to be aware that this happened. So she came, we acknowledged, and we gave our condolences. And she maintained a very professional level throughout that entire interview. She was accepted outright that minute because her ability to function under that really challenging situation was very apparent. Again, it's by communication. Had we not known, she would have been great as well and probably got in. But her communicating with us from the beginning that this devastating thing happened so recently showed us that she's not afraid to communicate when things are challenging.
Did she communicate that as an explanation for why her mom and dad were there, or just because she wanted you to know?
I think it was both. She wanted us to know her parents were coming and why she was, if we see her parents, she didn't want to think it was some level of maturity. People bring their parents because people come from all over the country. I don't think anything about it when they show up with their parents. I love chatting with parents. I think that, so it was one, but she doesn't know that. Applicants don't know that. Right. So that was one point. And the other thing is she just wanted us to know, I think, in case things derailed, that we would have some understanding. Now, it didn't derail. She handled every component of the interview exquisitely. But it was good that she made us aware because we wouldn't have known. If it had derailed, we would have had a little bit more understanding as to why it derailed. So my point is just communication. Again, it's the communication piece. But we looked at it as the positive. Okay, she communicated about this. So when she's a student, she'd be more likely to communicate versus somebody who keeps things so closed and shut away.
Yeah, that shows a tremendous amount of maturity and just planning ahead, just like the person who knew that they needed a support system, so they set those things up ahead of time that you mentioned previously. Yeah, that's a green flag factory right there. That person can definitely handle hard things because they know themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're pointing out these themes, they come across through the application, through the interview. It's a way of being, these are the things that make strong PA students because they make strong healthcare providers. Right? It's ultimately what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, school is just a microcosm of practice. You're growing up in the wolves. You have everything is on the line, just like everything is on the line with each exam. Yeah. Everything's on the line with each patient. So it's not getting through school and then you're good. But no, you're not. It's a tiny amount of stress compared to actual clinical practice. So that's what they're getting you ready for.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing for the rest of your life as a clinician, is putting those things in place. If you know you're not good, talk to someone about that. Get maybe another, get support, get whatever you need.
Yeah.
So, and she was doing that from literally before day one in the interview. So that was tremendous maturity, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I can't really say much more about the interview as far as individual. I mean, we can go into the nitty gritty, the group interviews, the writing sample. There's a bunch of things we can talk about. But we could also save that for the next one or another time. I've kept you for 2 hours already.
Hey guys, so that was a short clip from a 2.5-hour interview I did with Dr. Lori Palfreyman, the director of the Rutgers University Physician Assistants PA program. That video was filled with tons and tons of excellent information for pre-PA students, PA school applicants, current PA students, and even new PAs. If you're in any of those categories, it's a must-see, a must-watch all the way through. You absolutely have to watch it because there's just so much good stuff that we discussed, helping you craft your personal statement, helping you with interviews, helping you design an application strategy, helping you get into PA school, which is tremendously difficult, helping you get through PA school, which is even more tremendously difficult. All that good stuff. Dr. Palfreyman is a wealth of information, and she was good enough to sit down for 2 hours with me so that she could share all this information with you. So you should absolutely go to Boris the PA YouTube channel and watch that video as soon as you can.